April 14th, 1912. You're standing on the deck of the largest ship ever built. The air is cold, the ocean is calm, and everyone around you believes they're sailing on a ship that cannot sink. But in just a few hours, more than 1/500 people will be dead. The question is, if you were on the Titanic that night, would you survive? Or would you become one of the passengers lost forever beneath the Atlantic Ocean? This is Time Sketch, and today, we're boarding the Titanic. Imagine waking up in 1912. You have a ticket for the most famous ship in the world, the Titanic. At over 269 meters long, it was the largest passenger ship ever built. Newspapers called it a miracle of engineering. Many people believed it was practically unsinkable. We know that's not true, but the passengers didn't. For them, this voyage represented the future. Luxury, technology, opportunity. More than 2,200 people boarded the ship. Millionaires, immigrants, families, crew members, all sharing the same destination, New York City. But here's the first survival question. Which class are you traveling in? Because your chances of survival depend heavily on where you sleep. Let's say you're wealthy. You travel first class. You enjoy elegant dining rooms, private cabins, grand staircases, and easy access to the upper decks. Your survival odds are surprisingly good. Now imagine you're a third-class passenger. Life is very different. Your cabin is deep inside the ship, far below the boat deck. Many corridors are confusing, and when disaster strikes, every extra minute matters. Historically, first-class passengers survived at much higher rates. Not because they were smarter, but because they were closer to the lifeboats. Location matters. A lot. Here are the real numbers. Among first-class passengers, 62% survived. Second class, 41%. Third class passengers, only 25%, 1 in 4. But survival wasn't just about location. Third-class passengers faced another problem. Some corridors leading to the upper decks were gated off. Standard procedure to prevent immigration violations before docking. In a disaster, those gates became death traps. Some passengers found their way out. Many did not. Here's something most people don't know. The day before the collision, the Titanic received multiple ice warnings, at least 6 telegraph messages, sent by other ships sailing the same route, all warning of large icebergs directly ahead. The captain received them. The crew was aware, and the ship kept sailing at full speed. Why? Because slowing down meant arriving late. And arriving late meant bad press for the new ship. The Titanic was supposed to make headlines for the right reasons. Speed mattered more than caution. That decision would cost more than 1,500 lives. 11:40 p.m. A lookout spots something ahead, an iceberg. The warning comes too late. The crew reacts immediately. The ship turns, but not enough. The iceberg scrapes along the side of the Titanic. At first, many passengers barely notice. No dramatic explosion, no giant hole, no panic. Just a strange vibration. Some people continue playing cards, others go back to sleep. But below the waterline, the damage is catastrophic. Several compartments begin flooding. The Titanic has about 2.5 hours left to live. Most passengers don't know it yet, but every minute from now on is precious. What would you do? Stay calm? Go back to bed? Or investigate? Your decision could determine whether you live or die. This is where many people fail the survival test. The crew begins preparing lifeboats, but passengers hesitate. Why? Because the ship still looks safe. Imagine standing on deck. The lights are on. The music is playing. Nothing appears terribly wrong. Would you really leave a warm ship for a tiny boat in the freezing darkness? Many people didn't. Some lifeboats launched half empty. People believed it was safer to stay aboard. They were wrong. But here's the darkest truth of all. The Titanic had lifeboat space for only 1,178 people. There were 2,224 people on board. Even if every lifeboat had launched perfectly filled, more than 1,000 people had no chance of survival. The ship simply didn't carry enough lifeboats, and it met all the legal requirements of the time, which tells you a lot about how the world worked in 1912. The numbers reveal another brutal divide. Women and children first wasn't just a phrase, it was enforced. Men in second and third class died at rates above 80%. Many of them stood aside, by choice or by force. Some men tried to take spots on lifeboats. Others quietly gave their place away and never came back. The biggest mistake you can make tonight is waiting too long. When disaster seems unreal, humans delay action, and delay can be deadly. Let's assume you miss a lifeboat. Now you're facing the worst enemy of all, not drowning. The cold. The water temperature is near freezing, around 0 degrees Celsius. In water this cold, your body loses heat incredibly fast. Many victims died from hypothermia within minutes. Here's what that actually means. In the first 60 seconds in the water, the cold shocks your system so violently, you lose control of your breathing. Most people gasp and inhale water. If you survive that first minute, your muscles begin to fail. Swimming becomes impossible. Your arms and legs stop responding to commands. Within 15 minutes, you lose consciousness. The cold doesn't feel painful at the end. It feels like sleep. Even strong swimmers had little chance. The ocean doesn't care how fit you are. The ocean doesn't care how brave you are. If you enter the water, your survival odds collapse. Your best chance is avoiding the water entirely, which means getting onto a lifeboat at almost any cost. So let's put everything together. To survive the Titanic, you need to recognize danger early, move quickly, find the boat deck, avoid waiting for confirmation, secure a place on a lifeboat, and stay out of the freezing Atlantic. Sounds simple, but remember, over 1,500 people never made it. Not because they were weak, because they made ordinary human decisions. They underestimated the danger. They waited, and they ran out of time. Would you do better? Honestly, most of us like to think so. History suggests otherwise. In the early hours of April 15, 1912, the Titanic disappeared beneath the Atlantic Ocean. The disaster became one of the most famous tragedies in history. More than a century later, people still ask the same question. What would I have done? And perhaps, more importantly, would I have survived? This has been Time Sketch. If there's another moment in history you'd like to survive, let us know in the comments, and we'll see you in the next journey through time.